Yo, what's up, Randy? Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Hello, Rebecca. Thank you for joining. Everyone who's joining, thank you very much. I am going to be working and practicing in my new tattooing workbook that I created called Statues, or it's actually called Stencil Focus. This is the Statues edition, as you can see right here. Hello, Custom Stride. Thank you for joining. This is going to be the Statues edition. It is available in the description in case you want to check out this book right here. Hey, Madlab, thank you for joining. Thank you, Randy, Rebecca, Custom Stride. Hey, that's awesome. Thank you, Stride. I appreciate your support. Yeah, this one's a brand new one. The concept is to kind of get familiar with like the sort of, carbon application tattooing over purple, so to speak. And that's basically the idea of it. Also to kind of step outside our comfort zone. So this one's going to be statues. For me, a lot of my tattoos that I've done is just line dominant. So I'm really stepping outside my comfort zone practicing here in this workbook. I'm using an ink claw ballpoint pen cartridge. This is going to be a black one. You can use any color, but I'm going to use black just to kind of mimic that of a tattooing workflow. Thank you, Stride. I appreciate that. It is available already. The link is in the description in this live video, or you can head on over to amazon.com, type in Daniel Yuck, and then you'll see the Stencil Focus workbook pop up. You can type in Daniel Yuck Stencil Focus. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I appreciate those who are watching. Anyone has any questions at all, please feel free to let me know, and I'll go ahead and kind of do my best to answer here as best I can. I really had to focus on like remaining consistent so that way I get a smooth application and a clean application. And within this series, it's going to be Stencil Focus. So whenever the workbook is going to be within the Stencil Focus series, there's going to be different volumes. So that, for example, this one's statues. I'm going to have another that's going to be floral based. I have a wild roses that I'm working on. Let me go ahead and see here. Forgive me for not checking these comments. Let's see here. Hey Daniel, thanks for your videos. Just more or less successfully did it, and I'm a two traditional bear on my thigh. Pretty smooth transition by the skin and human skin thing. Hey Red, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad. I want to see the design. If you can go ahead and send me down the tattoo if you'd like. I want to check out what you did. To yuckmadethis@gmail.com. I won't give any feedback if you're not looking for any, but I'd be happy to take a look at it. It's awesome to hear your development is going well, though. Let's see here. I'm happy for you, Red. That's awesome, though. Christopher Herrera, let's see. Hello, packing black with the mag. How far do you have the needles out? I see a lot of people basically right in the tube. Ooh, that's a good question. I think that's going to be subjective. It's really going to be to each their own. I don't think that there's going to be a right or wrong, for hanging out your mag when it comes to packing. So that's going to be super hard to answer. I don't think there's like a one size fits all. It's really going to be what you feel comfortable. Me personally, I would rather see my needle tips with my mag than ride the tube, but other artists may feel different. I prefer to hang my needle out quite a bit. I wonder if I have a mag around here. I don't think I have a mag available around here to show the depth that I would use, unfortunately. Let's see here. Actually, I have this little ink. It's not like a typical mag, but I can kind of use this to get my points across. So like if I were to be packing, I would want my needles hanging out maybe around that much. So that way I can see my needle tips, and never would I ride the tube like that. But again, every artist is going to be different. Maybe some would prefer to ride the tube for maybe a smoother color blend. I have seen where artists put their needle in a little bit if they're going to be like color blending and stuff like that. But that's going to be to each their own. But that's basically the depth that I would use if I'm going to be packing any sort of black or color. For those who are joining, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. If anyone has any questions at all, please feel free to let me know, and I'll do my best to assist. Thank you, everyone that's joining me on TikTok. Thank you, everyone that's joining me on YouTube. I appreciate you all. Hey, can you make a few harsh shitters at some point? I don't use premium cards. Hey, Alabama, I don't fully understand. I apologize. If you can, elaborate on that for me. Just put everything in my cart. Hey, Mad Lab, that's awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. I hope you enjoy the books, man. I really do. I use them a lot. I use them for warming up. For this specific instance right here, I'm using this one to help me develop. This style right here is completely out of my style range, so I'm just kind of getting comfortable and acquainted with flow technique and what I need to do to sort of apply this style right here. So what exactly is this? Jeanette, hey Jeanette. So this is going to be a tattooing workbook right here called Stencil Focus. This is a tattooing workbook that I just released. It is available on my Amazon author page. If you go to Amazon.com, type in Daniel Yuck Stencil Focus, you'll see this book pop up. And this is an exercise within that workbook that I am working on to help me develop my statue practice. So sort of my realism, so to speak. And you can see that these are printed in a sort of carbon purple to kind of mimic that of a tattoo stencil to get us acquainted or to give us a feel of what it would feel like to apply these sort of designs right here or this sort of style. I do have also a full in-depth review that I made today that's available on my YouTube channel in case you want to check that out. If I'm missing any questions, please forgive me on that. Thank you, really appreciate it. Been practicing a lot. Tomorrow, my first tattoo on a client. Hey, Christopher, that's awesome. Are you nervous about your first tattoo? Hey, Daniel Silva, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you for the feedback. I hope you're doing well, man. For those that are curious, I'm using an Ink Claw Challenger tattoo machine. This is going to be the Ink Claw Challenger. This is actually a ballpoint cartridge as well from Ink Claw. I kind of forgot about the comments here. Forgive me for that. Let's see here. I've been practicing, so I'm feeling pretty good, man. Your book looks awesome. Hey, thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, this one's a brand new workbook that I just created. It's been out maybe for about a week or so now. I appreciate the feedback. This style is like not really, I guess, within my comfort zone, so I'm kind of developing as I go and kind of problem solving and figuring out how I'm going to technically apply, these areas right here, these sort of textures. I come from like, I guess my style dominantly would be like mandalas or something like that, because I can do like full bodysuit mandalas and things like that with like really dense lining, smooth shading, dot work, stipple, fluctuating line weights. But when it comes to sort of realism, it's not really my strong suit, and that's the point of this book right here as well. Let me catch up with these comments here. Forgive me for this, for not engaging as much. Let's see here. Let's see what TikTok's saying. Just got 5 yearbooks. I'm excited. Hey, Blythe, I appreciate that. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I think I'd say that by Blythe. I appreciate the support, Blythe. Thank you. I hope you enjoy them. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Be more than happy to assist as best I can there. I truly appreciate the support, though. Thank you. Which ones did you get, Blythe? No, I didn't dip this needle in ink. This is actually a ballpoint cartridge. It's just a, let me stop it here. It's just a ballpoint pen in cartridge form. So it's kind of pre-installed ink, so to speak. And I'm just running it within the Ink Claw Challenger tattoo machine that I have here. The voltage that I'm running right now, Blythe, is going to be 4.5. That's typically what I run when I stipple, 4.55, depending on the machine that I'm using though. Natty, the book that I'm using right now is going to be called Stencil Focus. This is going to be the Statues edition. So if you head on over to Amazon.com, you type in Daniel Yuck, Stencil Focus, Statues edition, you will see this book pop right on up. This is the first workbook of the Stencil Focus series. I do have a few more coming, so I'll go ahead and release those maybe sometime this month or next month. I have a wild roses and a few others. I'll release details as I have more in development here. How do you do the stencil? So this is actually a exercise on this page already that's printed, and all we do is simply select a machine. We can even use a pencil or a pen and begin applying it. It's basically simulating the tattooing process, so to speak. Let me show you the backside. I haven't broken through it all. Let me show you here, so you can see. Still haven't broken through the paper. And I do go layer after layer after layer on some parts. Like I'll really layer these shadings up, and I don't really break through, so I assume I'm off to a good start. Exactly, essentially, yeah, essentially to mimic the tattooing workflow, so to speak. Yeah, this is actually new to me. I'm not familiar with tattooing statues like this, so I hope I'm doing all right here. This is definitely outside of my comfort zone. This isn't the style that I would typically do. It's actually pretty scary to tattoo something like this. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Shane? Forgive me for the late response here. That's really good. I'm charcoal, white pastel artist. Trying to be so really excited. Hey, that's awesome, Chris. That's awesome. For me, I came from graffiti, so I do a lot of like graffiti as well. I did graffiti for a long time before I got into tattooing. I was given a liner machine and a shading machine, but don't know which is which. That's a good question. Is there any way to see like the stroke wheels or anything like that? Woodsy? Yeah, Woodsy. Yeah, it just depends. If you're able to see the stroke, then that's a good way, because if you see like a stroke that's shorter, then it could be for shading. A stroke that's longer could be for lining. What machines are they? For those who are watching, I appreciate you. Thank you for spending your evening here with me, or morning, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I find myself wanting to kind of rush naturally, but have to make each stroke intentful. Let me check these comments here. All right. Shout out from the. Hey, thank you, Gustavo. I appreciate you. Shout out from the Philippines. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Do the ballpoint cartridge put stress on the motor of the machine when jerk and place it in the space? That's a good question. I hear controversy about that a lot. Donsuela, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, but I do hear mixed emotions on whether or not a ballpoint cartridge stresses out a machine. I would say to a certain extent it does, but then again, I would say even improper technique when tattooing on human skin can also kind of have the same effect on a machine. But in terms of placing something down behind it, I just use here, as you can see, just kind of like a piece of cardstock. I just place it in the back so that way I can kind of work off of that and be direct on this page while not damaging the exercises behind it. That's how I go about that. You can probably put like maybe even a napkin below, but I don't really want that sort of bounce when I'm practicing, especially when I'm trying to develop in a style that I'm not familiar with. But yeah, I do hope that it can kind of help you there a little bit. But yeah, I would say to a certain extent it does put some stress on the machine. But for me, I'm kind of just using a very, very like tip of the ballpoint cartridge. I'm using brush-like motions as well to kind of get these sort of shadings here. So I think it also just depends on the technical application that we're using when using ballpoint cartridges. I think the sound makes it sound a lot worse than it may actually be. Because I don't really feel like the sound's accurate to how hard I'm actually pressing. Like I'm just using the very tip of the ballpoint there. And you can kind of see I layer up in areas quite a bit. I'm sure though, like if I got a Scotch shop wipe, for example, and I place it in the back, it may maybe dampen the sound a little bit. I can go ahead and try that here real time for those who are curious. So I have just a simple Scotch shop wipe. I'm going to place it in the back. We'll see if it dampens the sound here. For those who are watching, thank you very much. I appreciate those that are sharing the lives. I appreciate those that are liking the lives. Thank you very much. Appreciate you spending your evening with me, morning or afternoon. Yeah, of course. You're welcome. You're welcome, Donsuela. Excuse me. So you can see, or hear rather, with a sort of wipe in the back. I put a blue Scotch shop wipe in the back, and that really dampened the sound a lot. So I feel like the stress that people talk about is correlated to the sound that they hear, which may not always be accurate to what's actually going on. There's a little bit more bounce with the napkin, so I have to adjust a little bit more. But it can definitely be used to dampen the sound. That's something that we want to do. Me personally, I prefer the direct hit on here as opposed to the looser feel of the napkin. So that way I could focus on the accuracy of my deposits. So I kind of need that sound. I try not to use any sort of hard lining either, because naturally I just want to start lining things, because that's pretty much dominant for my style. Hopefully you all can see, and I'm on frame there. Sometimes I'll tend to drift off frame. Let's see here. If anyone has any, thank you for all for watching first and foremost. I appreciate those who are here with me. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to drop a comment below, or drop a comment. I'll do my best to assist here. I'm going to go ahead and do a few more sections here, and then I can go ahead and kind of conclude this live stream so that I can go back to recording this here for a video for you all. All right. If anyone has any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. I will go ahead and conclude the video here as I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time from y'all's day. Kind of wanted to go live, talk a little bit about this new workbook, let you all see it in action, answer some questions that you all may have. Real quick before I go ahead and log off, this workbook is called Stencil Focus. This is going to be Stencil Focus Statues Edition. It is going to be available on Amazon. Forgive me, my chair creaks a lot. It is going to be available on Amazon, or it is rather. If you go to Amazon.com, type in Daniel Yuck, you'll see this workbook available down there. This is going to be Stencil Focus Statues Edition. Now I feel like this would be a great place to conclude these live streams here. We are going to be doing a follow along live stream probably this weekend. I'm going to be posting the stencil for you to download ahead of time in the community section of my YouTube channel. So be sure to stick around for that. If you have any questions, just please feel free to drop them down on this live video once it uploads to YouTube. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you all very much. You'll have a great night.